Good fam. This week we're gonna get into the 3 key tips for emotional intelligence. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, and a little bit about the election. So, if you want, go ahead, stay tuned. We'll be back. This is Relationship Wise. See you in a second. All right. So, what's good, family? If you're new here, my name is Terall. Uh, if you've been here for a while, what it do? I'm back with a solo episode. My wife is just off camera. She just wanted to have, a little moment to herself. So I wanted to turn up a little bit, trying not to be too loud, trying to rest and relax, right? So let's jump straight in, get this over with real quick. Well, yeah, let's get this over with real quick. All right. So the 3 key tips or 3 key habits of emotional intelligence, right? So the first tip is active listening. Y'all heard me, active listening. Yeah. All right. What is active listening? Emotionally intelligent couples truly listen to each other without interrupting or assuming or planning their response while the other person is speaking. I feel like this is key. We always hear, don't listen to respond, actually listen to understand. But a lot of people don't really practice that. I think a lot of people grew up in a household where I win the argument, you must lose the argument, as opposed to coming to a win-win, or I hope when I speak, you understand me. And then when you speak, I understand you, right? That's the real key tip of wanting to be emotionally intelligent. It's not always trying to figure out who can win the argument or who can have the best point or the greatest point all the time, right? But what's best for y'all as a couple? You know what I'm saying? Because we live in a very hectic dog eat dog type of world. So why do that to your partner? You feel me? It's always better to just actually have the skill of active listening and things like that. You feel me? Another thing too is we always have this mindset of, if I listen to respond as opposed to listen to understand, I don't, my ego and my self-perception is always seen as bigger than yours. You know what I mean? A lot of times when we do that, we either show the person that they're not as important to us as we want them to be, one, and two, we always just really want our way. You know what I'm saying? So when you communicate things like that to your partner, they don't even want to listen anyway. So it's like, why not try to actively listen to actually really benefit your relationship? You know what I mean? A lot of times people just be bullshitting, or a lot of times people are so power hungry that they don't even realize they're destroying their relationship by not actually choosing to actively listen, right? So one of the ways to practice is use reflective statements like, what I'm hearing you say is blank, right? We always want to kind of mirror back to that person. It's even better. A real key tip is really trying to say exactly what they said in your own words, right? Learning to see and try your best to even understand their feelings as they're emoting it, as they saying it. You know what I mean? That's extremely important, right? Always make eye contact and avoid distractions like phones. You feel me? Right? When you're having that conversation, man, hey, look, put this away. Don't put it face down on the table. Don't put it away in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Make sure that your partner actually feels and understands that you actually give a damn about what the fuck they talking about. You know what I mean? Make sure you're paying full and undivided attention to them. So yeah. Right. Another part of active listening is showing empathy by validating feelings, right? Like making sure that it says, or you say to them things like, that sounds really frustrating, or, I remember when that used to happen to me, or, damn, that sounds like it hurts. Like, dang, that sounds like so-and-so is being selfish. Like taking a vested interest holistically in how they feel. You know what I mean? Not wanting to see it from your side, or trying to see how illogical your partner's being, or anything like that. Just trying to see things from their perspective is a big piece of active listening. Yeah. Sorry for rambling. My bad. I'm over here reading and thinking at the same time. Long day. Anyway. So the reason why active listening matters is that it builds trust and helps both partners feel heard and understood while reducing miscommunication, right? And I think that's one of the biggest keys to our podcast, right? We always want to make sure, like, at the end of every podcast, we leave people with more information and wanting to, like, actually feel heard, making sure they're actually communicating with their partners better. We having better goals and better outcomes in your relationships. Like, you know, one of the biggest things about clearly talking and listening to somebody is the communication piece, right? That's the key components to it. So make sure you're actually trying to hear your partner out. Make sure you're actually trying to actively listen so you can become a better and a more effective communicator, right? So the second part of being emotionally intelligent is regulate emotions during conflict, right? Or regulating emotions during conflict. So regulating your emotions during conflict is, instead of reacting impulsively, emotionally intelligent couples manage their emotions and approach disagreements calmly and constructively, right? A way to practice this is taking a break when things are on an emotional high, right? So, if y'all get into a heated debate, hey, look, let's hit a pause. Let's put the brakes on this. Let's come back to this in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, right? But one of the huge keys about this is that it has to be an agreed upon time. So if y'all literally need an hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, whatever the case may be, life can happen. You might have kids, things like that. Whatever the agreed upon time is, y'all take that time apart, collect your thoughts, come back together, then finish that conflict or debate, right? Another part about this is making sure you use I statements, right? We've talked about this before on the pod, man. Like, a lot of times people don't like using the I statements, but the I statements are always key, right? So things like, I feel hurt when, instead of using blame language, right? Don't tell the person, don't try to interpret the person's feelings for them. Tell them how what they did made you feel. I hate when I feel unheard, instead of, I hate that you're not listening to me, right? When you're talking to me like that, I feel belittled. I feel small. I feel unimportant, right? I feel like my opinions and my emotions aren't being heard, right? Or aren't being received. Things like that. When you tell the person how you feel, as opposed to blaming them for what they're doing or what you perceive them to be doing, it causes less arguments, less BS, right? A lot of times we think that by trying to, we project. Let's go ahead and just state that straight up and down. People are really bad at interpreting their partner's actions. So, a lot of times when my wife is telling me something over and over and over, and I might not hear it, or I might not want to receive it the first time, she feels like I don't want to listen, as opposed to understanding, like, maybe my ego is in the way, or maybe I had a long day and I'm not processing it the way she wants me to, right? She might blame me for something, or vice versa. I might say, okay, hey babe, I don't like when you say this, or you act like this towards me, but what's really actually happening is the fact that I'm trying to blame her, as opposed to, like, listen to her complaint. She might bring up something, or I might bring up something, and we will miscommunicate, things like that. And we'll have this thing where we feel like, oh man, this person just don't want to hear me. And instead of trying to blame them, if we just say simply how we feel, hey, I feel tired. Hey, I don't feel like having to repeat myself, because I just don't feel like I'm being heard when I say things. When we speak like that with that I statement, it just makes all the sense in the world. You feel me? So yeah, it's always best to use that. All right. All right. The next point is focus on solving the problem rather than winning the argument. What did I say earlier? You feel me? A lot of people want to win the argument. It's not about the argument, fam. Just really build with your partner. Right. And one of the reasons that it matters is that regulated emotions prevent conflicts from escalating and encouraging respectful, solution-focused communication. Right. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't the type of person who love getting into them big blown out arguments and, oh, fuck you, and you ain't shit, bitch. And like all that type of shit. That ain't really my vibe. Like, I don't mind that some people are like that, but I just know I ain't like that. And I know whenever I've been in situations like that, I always hate it because I feel like nothing really gets resolved. And we always having to come back to the table and apologize and this, that, and the third. And it's like, before it gets to that point, let's just make sure we regulate the way we talk to each other. Let's make sure if I need to step away, if I need to not talk to you right now, if I need to put a pause on this because I don't want to get that heightened, let's do that. You feel me? That's always my way, at least. But yeah, things get heated. Your way is your way, but I feel like it's a better way to do everything. You know what I mean? All right. So the third point about emotional intelligence, right? It's expressing, The third point about emotional intelligence is expressing appreciation regularly, right? And I feel like this is kind of self-explanatory, but I don't think people do it enough. I think I've even read in an article somewhere that one of the biggest complaints men have is that they don't feel appreciated enough in their relationships. So ladies, this right here is key. All right. This right here is key. Pay attention. Right. So expression appreciation regularly. Emotionally intelligent couples make it a habit to acknowledge and express gratitude. Gratitude. All right. For their partner's actions, qualities, or presence. Right. How to practice it. Daily compliments or thank yous. I appreciate how you always check in on me, right? Whenever your partner goes to the fridge and gets some water and they bring you one too, just say thank you. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Or even if you ask them for something and they do it without an argument, or they do it just because they want to show you that they actually want to hear you, they actually want to serve you, or they actually want to, make you happy in that moment. Say thank you. Say, oh, baby, this is so sweet. I appreciate that. I see what you're doing. Da, 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 da. Like little things like that, especially from women to men, go a long way. I don't know what it is about why women. I don't even think that women don't do it enough. I think that if women understood how much this is a valued thing from men, they do it a lot more. Men love those little compliments. We love, I ain't gonna hold y'all, fam. We love our ego being stroked. So even in the little things, if you boost our head up every time you want something, it's gonna get done quicker and quicker and quicker and more effectively. We ain't gonna want to disappoint you. Just a quick tip. But yeah, all right. You feel me? Another thing is to celebrate small wins or kind gestures like cooking dinner or helping with chores, right? And I mean, I'm careful when it comes to like cooking dinner or chores and, the little male versus female tasks. Cause like, I feel like everybody should contribute. Granted, a nigga don't be cooking like that. You feel me? So I feel like the moment I actually cook a full course meal, my wife would fucking drop to the floor and be like, thank God. Cause it's been a minute since I actually tried to really cook something that's fire. So, anybody and for me, one of the things I do when she cooks regularly, I mean, she's the best cook in the house, clearly, is I make sure to be like, yo, this is busting. Like I make sure to pick her up every week. Every time she cooks something, I'll be like, yeah, this whole slap, 10 out of 10. You feel me? I always gas her. I always make sure to make her feel like what she's doing is extremely important. You feel me? Even in the last couple of years, I lost some weight, and it's because of her home cooked meals being healthier and healthier. You know what I'm saying? So even when we talk about stuff like that, I always try to big up my wife. Shout out to you, babe. Love you. You know what I mean? So celebrate all them small wins, just being kind, things like that. Another step is writing occasional notes or texts expressing what you love about your partner. This one, I ain't gonna hold you, is key, right? This is actually building romance. Like every so often, you should always kind of surprise your partner with like a little love note, send a little letter. It don't got to be nothing deep, you know what I'm saying? Even if you saw like a fire poem or haiku and you wanted to share it with them, write it down and say, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Don't just text it. Don't just Instagram, like send it to them on Instagram or send it to them on Twitter or whatever, or TikTok. Like actually write it down. Let them see your handwriting. Let them feel your vibe. You know what I mean? Like just go an extra mile and be like, yeah, I saw this somewhere and I thought of you and I wanted to write to you because I feel like that's, it's something that's a little romantic, a little sweet. You know what I mean? Gestures like that is is always a dope thing. You feel me? Trust me. Hey, fellas. Hey, listen. them little love notes gonna get you right. Stop playing. The reason it matters, y'all, is because regular appreciation strengthens emotional bonds and creates a positive atmosphere in the relationship. Right. I remember when my homeboy Daly was here, I think the second time he pulled up, I told him that every time you're around a person, your actions, your words, your demeanor create an atmosphere. You feel me? It creates an environment. And it's not a tangible thing. It's maybe an energetic thing, maybe an emotional thing. We could even argue it's a spiritual thing, right? But the way in which you operate when you're around your person creates a sense of safety, a sense of love, a sense of belonging, a sense of fulfillment. You feel me? So just make sure you always are striving to create a healthy atmosphere for your partner. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So those are the 3 tips. If you're still here, hey, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening on the audio platform, make sure to follow us for more content. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, right? Now I understand. I get it. You feel me? It was a nice little marketing ploy that they fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? It's young and upcoming YouTuber. Jake Paul and he also a boxer, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the heavyweight champ. Mike Tyson, one of the greatest of our era. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, granted, this was a market ploy, right? And Mike Tyson at 58. I'm like, bro, I feel like at any moment in time, Mike Tyson could have really beat bro ass. I know he went 8 rounds. I didn't even watch the fight because I'm like, to me, it was a waste of time. Like, they are nowhere near compatible as fighters, right? Like, Mike has been doing this since he was young. Jake Paul probably started taking this up a few years ago, and it's like, come on, bro. So I ain't mad that he want his money. He wants his clout. He wants his fame and wants to be taken even seriously as a fighter. But Mike Tyson at 58 and Jake Paul is probably 30. You know what I mean? Bruh's twice your age. What we really doing? You feel me? Like Jake Paul won 40 million and Tyson won 20 for losing or whatever it is. And I think the score was like 79 to 73. Yeah, 79 to 73. Out of it was that close. It was won by like literally 6 hits. You feel me? Which is crazy because it's like in 6 hits you won the fight. So to me, it wasn't no real heavyweight fight. I mean, it was probably something to watch. I heard even Netflix is like bugging out for some people. They had to shut it off, whatever. But long story short, I feel like it was a waste. It made money for them. It was hype, but it was a waste of time for me to try to watch that fight. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, but shout out to Tyson. You know what I'm saying? He got his little $20 million check, or excuse me, I need a $20 million check. But that was about, I'm happy for him. But somebody fighting somebody half your age just for some money is a little crazy, but it is what it is, man. My hats off to Tyson though. Jake Paul, I feel like you ain't gonna fight no real fighters who really about that and actually like win. But yeah, we here. The next item. I think as I wrap, man, the real last thought I had was about Black women in politics. I'm happy. Excuse me, let me say that correctly. I don't like the fact that Trump won. Right? I mean, granted, I don't really. We know that the Electoral College is the real body in this country that elects the president. We know this. Now we know that they're supposed to follow the majority vote or whatever. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. After the first, assassination attempt on DJT, I was like, yeah, he basically got this in the bag, right? But the one thing I do want to say specifically regarding Black women is I'm actually happy that Black women are taking a step back. Black women put on a cape. Y'all really be putting on trying to be moral and stand up for and uh create a level of acceptance, diversity, equity, inclusion, everything for everybody, while everybody consistently shits on y'all. And I'm not happy with the way it happened, but I'm happy that Black women are now realizing that they need to take a step back and that everybody in American society don't really value them like that. And it sucks that this had to show that. Granted, I mean, I already know Black women already know this clearly, but I'm happy to see that Black women are actually saying, you know what? We've been trying our hardest and ain't nothing been working. And it's like, yes, this is one of the biggest foundational principles of politics, of just life, and everything else is, working for your own best interest. One of the biggest takeaways that I want for Black women in particular at this time in American history and world history is, y'all, Black women, please focus on yourself. The people who y'all been fighting for don't give a damn about y'all. And as a Black man who love Black women, just please take this time, because the people who y'all have been fighting for the hardest, the longest, the strongest, the loudest, hell, even some Black men, you feel me, don't really care about y'all. So put that effort and energy where it matters most, in yourself. You understand? Like, I mean, really and truly, it sucks that Kamala lost, but put that energy back into you, sis. You deserve it. Yeah. You feel me? I'm not like the biggest political nigga in the world. Part of the reason I didn't even mention it on the pod is because, like, even I wasn't happy about voting this election cycle, but you know, and hell, a part of me ain't even want to vote. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. You feel me? Because what am I voting for? What do Black people in particular get from voting? Oh wait, crickets. I mean, yeah. I mean, and hell, I voted, and we still got Trump. So what we doing? What we doing? You feel me? Um, you know, Black women, man, y'all been doing the most for the longest. Just chill. Now is y'all time to rest. Y'all did what y'all could do. Y'all did y'all best. It is not y'all job to be everything for everyone. And it's sad in some ways that it had to show for y'all to have that feeling. You feel me? And I know y'all know that, but I'm almost happy in a sense, because at least now y'all are taking that well-deserved break and focusing on the main priority in your life, which is yourself. You feel me? So yeah. Listen, man, that's this week's message. I'm about to clock out. It's been real. Peace.